Trail centres are dotted all around the world and they offer an absolute plethora of riding. So here in this video, I'm going to give you a few tips as to how you can make the most of them. Let's kick it off then with choosing the right trail and knowing what the right trail is for you, because trail centres are often graded in order of difficulty. So green at the bottom and black at the top, much like you can see here. So we've got a green route, a blue route, which is the next one up, red, then black, and actually here you've got an orange, which is the freeride line. And that's going to be the toughest, if you like. In other countries, this can change slightly. Some people use a dot system, so 1 being the easiest, 3 being the hardest. Or if you go further afield, Canada say, then they have double black diamonds, which are mega gnarly trails. If you're going to go hit those, you probably want to work your way up to them, or at least check out the obstacles that are on them to begin with. Let's run through the trails quickly so you've got a real good understanding what you're going to be getting into when you do go to the trails. So the green, that's generally your family loops. Real smooth, pretty mellow, no big ups or downs, no obstacles on that, pretty plain sailing the whole way. Fun for all the family if you like. When you move onto the blue runs, these are really fun, sort of start flowing through the woods. They'll have some rollers in them, a few berms, quite mellow and stuff, still where you can sort of begin to get a taste for mountain biking if you like. When you go onto the red, this is when it might get a bit steeper, a little bit longer if you're going downhill. You might start to see some rollers closer together that you can double up, or some small jumps and drops. Stuff that's still generally rideable all the time, but you're going to take a little bit more care doing it. You have to take a little bit more of a look before you leap, if you like. Then we're on to the blacks. Now this is where gaps come in, actual drops, jumps, things that you really do need the basic skills to technically complete them, if you like. So if you can't jump or you can't drop, then, well, you're gonna have to go back a grade, if you like, and just really check those out. Then when we go to the freeride park here, well, that's just full send. That's big jumps, that's big drops, that's big fun, and it's something that you can look forward to once you work your way through the system. Fancy getting sendy but not really sure how? Or maybe your local trails, well, they've just got massive jumps and they're a bit intimidating. Well, this is where, again, the trail centre comes into its own, because often they'll have skills-specific areas for you to hone in your craft, for you to really learn those bits that you might be struggling with elsewhere. So drops, jumps, berms, turns, roots, rocks, you name it, it's gonna be able to cover it all, which is amazing. So they'll often have maybe a small rollable drop to begin with, and then next to it, a slightly bigger version, and then a bigger version again. There's tons of places which do this. The same with jumps, there might be a set of rollers, then a smaller gap and a bigger gap and a bigger gap, so that actually you can progress nicely without having to sort of throw yourself in at the deep end. Not only that, if you can't find what you're after maybe in the skills area itself, due to the graded nature of the trails at these kind of places, then actually you can progress that way as well. So a blue run might go into a red run, which will be a bit steeper, so you can build your confidence up on that steepness. The same then when you jump up to the black. That could be said for really rooty bits. There are trails here which are quite smooth, but then next to it you've got a rooty section as well, so you can do the smooth bit, maybe hit a couple of little roots, be like, oh, okay, actually that wasn't too bad. I'm gonna move on over to the next trail, and then you hit the rooty bit. And all these are great for learning, progressing, building confidence and having fun. This is another great tip for getting the most out of a trail centre, and it actually evolves around trail etiquette. So what you should and shouldn't do when you do go to a trail centre, when you visit another trail centre or set of trails that aren't your own, for instance. First up, don't be pushing up tracks. If tracks are often directional, going against the flow can be dangerous for yourself and other riders. It's clearly labelled a lot of the time, look, please do not walk or push your bike up this trail. You get people hurtling down, well, that's going to be hurtling you. Oh, whoa, look at that. Littering, not cool at the best of times. Nobody likes a litter bug. It's not what you want to see on the trails. So don't leave it behind. Leave the trails as you found them. If you bring rubbish, take rubbish away with you. If you spot some rubbish and you've got a bit of space in your bag or in your pockets, and it's not too grimy or something like that, and it's safe to do so, well, pop that one in there. You can stick it in the bin at the bottom, recycle it if you can. And it just leaves Mother Nature a little bit tidier and nicer trails for us all. Trails are often one way as well, so when you do head out, just double check which way that they are heading so that you don't go into any oncoming traffic. Again, they're normally clearly labelled like that. You can see these big old arrows telling you which way to go, so it shouldn't be any confusion. Another real courteous thing to do is, well, move out the way for faster riders. It's more fun for them and it's more fun for you. Plus it is safer as well. If you can just pull over to the side, if you can hear someone behind you, let them pass. You can both carry on your rides and live happily ever after.
Excuse me, come on, coming through. Excuse me, come on, coming through.
What about safety when it comes to trail centres and maximising and having the most fun out of them? Well, there's a few things you can do both for yourself and for others just to make things a little bit more easier, if you like, a bit more peace of mind and to help you get more out of your day. First up, why don't we kick things off with researching the trail centre itself. If you're looking at heading to somewhere new, then you might want to check what kind of trails it has beforehand, just to make sure that there is something right for you. Then once you've done that, you could use something like a GPS or your smartphone with some really clever apps that you can get out there these days, which can help guide you around and track your ride and even send out things like emergency beacons and text messages if you get into a bit of trouble. Really useful should you ride off into the middle of nowhere and have a bit of an accident. Because, like this,
I need to remember where I'm going. Oh,
crashes can happen when you least expect it. What about if you're riding a trail centre abroad or a new one for the first time that you've not been to? Well, things like the emergency services numbers, local hospitals, knowing where they are, knowing what the phone number is, or if it's somewhere remote, mountain rescue, are all really great information to have written down or tucked away in your backpack or something somewhere as well. And saying that about a backpack, taking the right provisions with you. If you're going out for all day, having the good stuff with you, some food, some water, maybe a few spares, they can really help keep on top of things, keep you going, fix your bike, and then where you're not wasting any days like that as well. Also, pads. Wear knee pads. I'm not, but you know, look at my knee. That's what happens. Wear knee pads, wear protection. You know, a big crash or falling off could scupper you for the rest of the day, and then what are you gonna do? Sit around and wait whilst your friends are riding? That ain't no good. What about if you're new to mountain biking then, or you fancy giving it a bit of a go? Well, trail centres are the perfect place for this. Because of that wide range of different types of trails, it means that there's definitely going to be something for you to ride there. But also a lot of the time, they're really well equipped with things like bike hire, kit hire. There's bike shops normally on site as well, and cafes. So they've really got the full package. You can go there, you can try a bike, you can rent all the relevant protective equipment so that you know that you can do it safely as well. Not only are the bike shops then and the hire centres really well equipped at trail centres, but also the staff are generally well up to date on all the latest knowledge for bikes. So if you are trying to get into it, like we said, and you want to choose what bike to hire best, well, they can normally advise you on what kind of bike to take out. Maybe electric, maybe a normal bike, an enduro bike, XC, you name it, they can generally help you out. And then at the end of the day, when you're full of smiles and had a good time, you can go back to the cafe for a nice bit of cake and a cup of tea. Perfect. There we have it then. There's my top tips for getting the most out of a trail centre. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I've had a blast zipping around Glen Tress here. It's actually a well good spot. But that's me done and dusted. Cheers for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Why not subscribe and give us a little thumbs up as well? But I'm out of here. Happy riding, and I'll catch you later.